In terms of Arsenal's ingoings and outgoings, BBC have even... This is a big report, by the way. It literally dropped about 15 minutes before we went live. The other thing was about the Arsenal. There are 5 players who they are said to be open for offers for this summer. 2 of them being Ethan Nwaneri and Miles Lewis Skelly. Arsenal reportedly, according to the BBC, are looking to try and recoup as minimum of £100 million for the 2 of them, which I personally think is a big ask. I think they're both very, very talented players, but 100. I don't know if they've both shown to be, combined worth at least £100 million. But then also, Gabby Jesus, Ben White, and Gabriel Martinelli are also among the players the club are understood to be open to selling ahead of next season. And obviously, there's a lot of talk about Martin Odegaard as well, club captain, but he's not been performing as consistently as you want him to. Injury issues, etc., etc. But Arteta is understood to be minded to keep him.
Well, my thoughts on that is that first and foremost, that is ironic that has come out today because, as Alex alluded to, just this afternoon we were having a conversation downstairs in the studio about that very same topic, and I was saying that if Arsenal are going to, let's say we win the title, okay? I know I'm being presumptuous a little bit, but let's say we win the title. Even if we don't win the title, to me there are half a dozen players, I would say, that need to be moved on. Not because I think they're bad players or, there's nothing to do with their attitudes and anything like that. I just think they've reached their end of their life cycle at Arsenal. Those players are, in my opinion, this is my opinion, Ben White, Martin Odegaard, Leandro Trossard, Gabriel Martinelli, Jesus, and maybe Havertz as well. Those guys, for me...
Havertz? It's Rufus.
What I would say in closing is that I'm disappointed that Miles Skelly and Ethan Nwaneri appear to be part of that list because
I do think that
they are part of the future. Yeah. So I'm disappointed if those players have moved on, especially Ethan Nwaneri, who I think is unbelievable.
Because at the same time, you sent him on loan to Marseille just because you specifically really, really wanted him to get minutes.
Yeah.
And I would argue, I've not seen much from Odegaard this season that says to me that Ethan Nwaneri couldn't have done at least some of what Odegaard's been doing or been a fresh option off the bench.
Ethan was always going to be the fall guy though because he's very young and Odegaard was the club captain. But trust me, if it was down to me...
There was definitely a point, though, where Ethan was the Max Dowman. Like, he was seen as this... And he still could be. Like, what is he, 18 maybe?
19, I
18?
think.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with 18. It could be 17.
18 going on 19 or 19.
When did he turn?
Just turned end of March.
Okay. For me, I think those names that you mentioned, if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd actually agree with all of them. And there does have to be a ruthlessness about it. Yes, Odegaard is your captain. But we're in the business now of going from number 2 to number 1 and staying at number 1. Would Declan Rice be a better captain for Arsenal Football Club than Martin Odegaard? In my opinion, 100% yes. So, very sorry, but see you later, Martin, no problem. I think the other danger of that is, look what we did last year. We won the league at a canter and then got rid of, and obviously, we tragically lost one. But we pretty much mixed up the whole defence, midfield and attack. And then this season, look what's happened. If you replace those 6
scattergun
with a new 6, there's no guarantee that they all gel and work together. So be careful what you wish for in that sense. But in terms of those players specifically that you mentioned, I think the life cycle has those
are the ones I've identified. Yeah,
it's ruthless.
Havertz is an interesting name because he's come up clutch for you. I know he's had a lot of injury issues at the same times. No, but there have been a lot of times where he's...
I wouldn't say clutch. I mean, you're talking about the goal the other night, fine, yeah. But there have been...
I think on a number of occasions this season, Arsenal's whole season has been your substitutes have won your games for the most part when you've been playing. It's like Trossard's better off the bench, but so is Martinelli. So it's almost who do you not want starting to be able to come off the bench? Same with Kai Havertz. If Gyökeres hasn't had a great game, Kai Havertz has come on, such as against, obviously recently biased, against Sporting and also obviously the goal against Chelsea in the EFL Cup semi-final as well.
As I said, it's my opinion. I think we need upgrades in those positions. And I would include Havertz.
I completely agree.
I would include Havertz in that. So, as I said, it's not personal. It's not a slight. It's just my reasoning of what I've seen this season. And I think what you're seeing with Arsenal as well is that we're too dependent upon certain players. And if they're not getting us over the line, we can look a little bit under par.
I agree with you.
So those players that I've said there, it's just my reasoning based on what I've seen. It's not like I said, it's not personal. Now with Havertz, I don't expect him to be moved on because, you know, you could argue that he does bring certain things to the table, and we know all Arsenal fans will tell you that. It's not even close. The manager is a huge fan of Kai Havertz. He said so.
Oh, yeah. And the bit that I found super interesting in this is the bit about Lewis Skelly and Nwaneri. The club will listen to offers for both players this summer and want to recoup above £100 million for the pair of them. And then also that they will listen to offers for Gabby Jesus, Ben White and Gabriel Martinelli. And obviously, you two both being Arsenal fans as well, I did want to get kind of the lowdown, how you feel about that, if you feel that's possibly a bit harsh or not, because at the same time, like, Lewis Skelly's been linked to United a number of times in the last month or so, and a lot of teams, but we got United on the thumbnail, so that's why I mentioned United. The only reason I mentioned United, obviously, but like, do you think that's right?
What?
The club's decision with those 5 players basically coming out basically saying, you know, we'll listen to like all 5 of these basically on the transfer list.
Like you, when I first saw it, I was like, what the hell is this, blah, blah. Then I actually read into it, and it was more of like, the club still see them two as part of the future. They understand that obviously they're young talents, but like, it's more of like, yeah, we would listen, because if someone came and maybe said, right, we've got a big money offer, like, you actually have to listen to it. But to me, I've said this all along, them two, Ethan and Miles, are the future of the club. To me, there's other players that should be getting moved on that are kind of blocking their pathways. And I feel like, especially someone like Ethan, who this season, I think, has been so unlucky. I mean, we started this season, Martin Odegaard is injured. Eze wasn't 100% yet. He played in those early games and he was fantastic. Like, nobody even said, oh, we miss Odegaard in those games, you know what I mean, right at the beginning. And he's been dealt quite a short hand in the sense that we started the season with a lot of options, you know. It's not even just Odegaard, it's Eze, it's Mikel Merino, it's Declan Rice, like, do you know what I mean? So
keep doing this, bro. He can play any... We're doing this like right. he's meant to be a 10, but it's not. Yeah,
but
he could be a right... No, but he's not just a 10. Yeah, he could be a right-sided 10. He could play on the wing. He could play a lot of places in that forward. He could play left and right 10. Yeah. So when everyone keeps saying it's a thing of places and all that stuff, we went out and spent 60 million on Madueke when we've already got a guy there that could do the thing. The only reason that I never got mad at the Madueke thing is because of his fees. How much is he getting paid? 50k a week.
Yeah, something.
So because it was so low, if he was on,
it kind of compensated for the transfer fee.
That's what I'm saying. Like Kai Havertz, that one always got me mad because we're paying him 300k a week. Do you know what I'm saying? And then even though he did show up for when you've been injured for as long as you've been, and you're getting 300k, that means you haven't met
the standards
of what we needed from you. And then I'll have the same thing with Madueke, less so with Madueke, but if we're selling one of our youth prospects and going, oh wait, hold on, let's spend 60 million here just to sell this guy for 50 million, the maths ain't mathing. However, I do hear why we don't sell well. We don't sell well. And if either of these two, we can get 50 million for them, I can turn around and go, hold on, wait a minute.
And also, like, because obviously in PSR, it's like pure profit, etc.
Exactly.
Well. But do you think maybe to a certain extent, Ethan is suffering from the fact that maybe he doesn't have such a nailed down... No, but I was saying not necessarily having such a nailed down position, because it's episode like, you know, because he's coming to the fore. Maybe the same with Lewis Skelly as well. It's like kind of, is he a central midfielder? Is he an attacking midfielder for the two of them? Or, you know, is he best on the right? Is he best on the left? Whereas Mikel Arteta is like, you know, I'm going for a league title. I need players. I know Gyökeres is a striker. I know that Martin Odegaard is a number 10. I know Rice is a number 8. I know like there's my centre backs. I know my right backs. Whereas like they are like kind of here and there, and so it's not 100% sure that you're going to get a great performance in either position for them because they haven't nailed their supposed position down.
Do you know what is okay in terms of Miles? You can say, to me, Miles is a box-to-box midfielder. That's what he's always been. Even academy, he comes in at left-back because we just had a freak season where everyone was getting injured. Do you know what I mean? So he had to step in. He had an amazing breakthrough season, essentially. But this season, he's been nowhere near it. I feel like any Arsenal fan would be lying if we all sat here and said he's even touched anywhere close to what he was last season.
Because you say that, Yeah, but trust me, they're all out there going, "Oh, Miles is the
exactly."
And there was so many games where he came on and he's underperformed. Straight from the beginning of the season, Liverpool. Straight away.
I just think, like, you know, I went to that Bayern Munich game. I remember when he played, he got targeted in that game. Even in the cup games this season, he got targeted in every single cup game that he started in that left back position. So you look at it like, okay, we know this isn't really your position, but you played all season here last season, and like the drop off has been immense. And also we have to remember, okay, if we're going to play in your actual position, that means Declan Rice ain't going to start. And the reality is Declan Rice is the guy for Arsenal. People are saying that he should be captain. Do you know what I mean? You don't drop Declan Rice.